Hail, adventurers! 'Tis I, Bone Star, with Bone Star Gaming. Guys, how are you today? Got a really good, as my buddy Trammy Surprise calls it, juicy template coming at you today. It is, you guys have probably seen a couple of them running around, the Blood Ape Dexter Tamer. This one is a lot of fun. I was actually really surprised. It's really cool to see some of those people out there doing the thing with some non-120 pets. The first time I kind of saw them, I was like, oh, this is kind of weird. Those guys are real weak. I remember killing them non-stop, really simple at the Aegis flashpoint. They just spawn right there. Well, comes to my notice that they are actually pretty beefy, little old beefy boys, and really, really strong as well, especially in packs of 5. So we're going to talk all about the Blood Ape Dexter Tamer today, and just how awesome that template really is. So let's get going on it. Alright, so first off, let's talk about some of the pros of the Blood Ape Dexter Tamer. It's quick to make. The template is very quick and easy. It's mostly your basic skills. Probably the hardest skill to gain is going to be the animal taming, and that's only at 85. So you've got 35 points away from the maximum of 120, which, as you guys know, is not a very fun skill to raise. 85, piece of cake. It's a really quick farmer. Fast monster slaying. It's ready to move on to the next monster pretty much instantly after killing the first one. And then also there is camping, which helps to complement this by increasing your weight, obviously. There is consistent damage on this. I mean, it kind of just goes with the previous of the quick farmer, meaning that you're not having to wait for mana or anything like that. You're just constantly jabbing at the monster, and your pets are just constantly bashing them with their cold, hard, well, I guess warm, bloody ape fists. And then apes are actually, just like I had previously said, much tankier than you would expect for such a low taming pet. At 85 taming, it's pretty crazy as to how strong these pets actually are. To me, this build feels much closer to the 120 taming than at the 85. Please don't nerf it, but it is a lot of fun. Let's go ahead and let's talk about the actual template itself before we go into the cons of this build. Alright, and for the actual template, we're going to go with 100 strength, 100 dexterity, and the dexterity is very important that you keep at 100 because that is not only going to increase at which how fast you hit, but also at how fast you heal yourself and your apes. We're going to leave it at 25 intelligence, and then we're going to go with fencing. And the reason I chose fencing was because the weapon proc for fencing is it's going to lower the defense of the monster that you're attacking, which should be really beneficial considering you have 5 monkeys bashing on it with their warm, bloody fists. Tactics at 100, simply because that's the damage that you are going to do. We put anatomy at 80 and healing at 100. Now the reason we chose that is because that right there ensures 100% chance to resurrect your friends. If you're farming with friends, or if you're at a boss and one of your friends dies, then you're going to res them without fail attempts. Very important. Next up is animal lore and animal taming at 85 because that's the minimum required to tame and to command the blood apes. And then camping we put at 70. That there is going to give you 530 stones to carry. You're going to thank me when you walk out with a lot of gold and a lot of magic items versus just a little bit, and your trips are spent more time running back and forth versus actually killing the monsters. Camping is a necessity. Next up is going to be veterinary. We're going to put it at 100. That way we don't have any fails when we're rezzing our monkeys. Sorry to tell you, they are going to die every once in a while. And this right here gets you right back into the fray, fighting, farming, getting that gold, and making things happen. Alright, let's talk about the codexes and the aspect. Now for the codex, Obviously, since we're doing fencing, we're going to go with the fencing codex. Now, which stance do we go with? I went with the aggressive stance because it increased the attack speed, which once again, it's just one more thing that's going to help with that weapon special proc, that the whole reason that we went with fencing in the first place for. So therefore, decreasing the defense of the monster that we're attacking, and that means more damage, which means faster farming, which means more gold at a faster efficiency, right? For the finisher, I chose Flurry because, once again, hitting even faster. I'm telling you, it hits really, really fast. I didn't even know Ultima could move that fast. Pretty intense. Now let's talk about the aspects. The aspects, I did water armor for, once again, more weapon procs. But then also it does have the effective alchemy skill. So that means when we are using those heal potions at a emergency situation, they are really healing quick. Maybe we're healing our blood pet at this current moment and we need to heal ourselves. Chug a potion and you can continue bandaging that blood monkey. Air weapon for, once again, lower defense on the monsters. I will say command works wonderful. If you don't know, the command proc instantly heals all of your pets and then does a substantial amount of more damage from your pets for a certain amount of time. You could also use fire if you chose, but personally I like air because it's so cost effective, as is water. Alright, so those are all the really cool things about this template. Let's talk about some of the negative things, the cons. It does have kind of a low survivability versus bosses and PKs, which, you know, any Dexter template is going to have low survivability against PKs. If you really wanted to have more survivability against PKs and even bosses, I guess you could drop out camping, or I don't know, yeah, pretty much that's it, is camping, and put in 60 magery. That way you could have your Invasmanis, your greater heals. But I don't think that's really a necessity. I would just keep the camping, that way you can farm more efficiently. It does, however, have more expensive restocks because you do have to put more plate mail armor or maybe just leather armor because your pets are going to be doing most of the tanking. It is weak versus AoE monsters because, let's face it, you're only able to heal one monster at a time, even at 100 dexterity with those quick heals. And you are going to be kind of juggling around trying to get all your pets healed. Therefore, one or two may die in an area effect monster scenario. It also is weak against a reflective damage type monster. So, level 2 of Cavernim, while it is a lot of fun and the monsters have low hit points and easy to kill, it may not be the best place for you to farm. Even level 3 as well, where the white worms have like a reflective damage to you. As you can tell from the videos down here, I did a lot of farming in Mausoleum. That's where I found it to be the most efficient. I'm sure there's plenty of other dungeons and places and spots that you can do a lot of farming at. It's just, personally, I would try to stay away from area effect and reflective type damage monsters. Guys, let's take a break before we get into our conclusion / final thoughts. We do have our raffle. Now remember, the way that you can get entered into a raffle is just simply comment below a suggestion that you would like to see happen for next week's video. Now let's also throw this out there. Next week's video, once again, from the Path Guild, Are You Kiddin' is donating an extra 100,000 gold on top of whatever amount that is rolled for. So make sure you comment on this week's video because whatever you win, you're actually going to get an extra 100,000 on it. Thank you, Are You Kiddin'? All right, let's see who's going to win this week. All right, so here are all the contestants for this week. Looks like we've got a pretty good list. Also, I want to throw this out here. I put on here everyone listed. That means everybody that commented will get whatever amount is rolled for, if that is actually selected. We'll do this randomly, not every time, but it might be something kind of fun. So here we go. Let's pick one. And Johan Anderson, how much money are you going to win, my friend? We've got it put in here for 1 to 100 and 58K. So Johan Anderson, just message me on Discord. I'll meet you in shelter for your check for 58,000. All right, guys, that's it for the raffle. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, like always. But for the final thoughts, I had a really good time testing this build. This build is just as powerful as a 120 Tamer build, just at a fraction of the cost. I can really see the difference that this build has with the 5 pets and your fencing weapon, and just the mobility of it, we'll call it, from jumping from one monster to the next without the worry of mana. It is a lot of fun. I just would be afraid of the red PKs, but you know, restocks overall aren't that expensive when you have a good amount of camping and you're just raking in gold as fast as this build allows. Also, guys, just remember, we do have a Discord community. Make sure you join that community. There's a lot of good ideas that get thrown around in there. There is what I'm hoping for, people looking for different groups and forming different farming groups, and you know, just having a great time together in this wonderful server that we call Outlands. And then also, if you want to support the channel, first off, like and comment and subscribe. But if you really want to support the channel, go ahead and subscribe to the Patreon. I really do appreciate any support that you guys give, no matter what form it is. And thank you very much. Have a great one. See you next week.